Hey everybody! Brian from Innisfil Creek Honey. It's the end of the year. Nice cloudy, rainy day. Not much we can do in the bee yards, but there's always things we can do around the shop. It's September. We're already pulling off all our honey. And when you pull off your honey, you're also pulling off your Queen Excluders. And your Queen Excluders are going to be all covered in all this wax. And to reuse them again next year, we have to get all that wax off there. It can be quite frustrating to try to clean all that off manually. And people always ask us how we do things. I just want to show you how we do, how we get our wax off our Queen Excluders and get the Queen Excluders ready for next year. Very simple process. We have a chicken fryer, one of those offset burner units you can get. It's a heavy duty one, so it's not just the cheap one you get at Walmart. It's a little more heavy duty than that, because we're going to be putting a big metal drum on top of that, using the drum as a pot. So what we do is we get our drum, we put in the bottom of it, we put a couple of bricks. Those bricks are on the bottom, so that when we take our Queen Excluders and put them in, they hold the Queen Excluder just off the bottom of the barrel, so the flames from the chicken fryer don't hit the heat from the bottom of the metal doesn't transfer right through into the bottom metal of this and warp it or anything. So it helps as a safety feature to make sure your Queen Excluders will be in good shape when they get out. So then what we do is we put the barrels in the bricks in the bottom. We will put the barrel on the chicken fryer and then load it full of the Queen Excluders. We'll be back in a minute after we get that done, and we'll continue on the process and how we do this. Hey, Brian from Innisfil Creek Honey again. So we have our barrel sitting on our chicken fryer stand thing there. We have it loaded with our Queen Excluders in there, and now we're starting to fill it up with hot water. So I've got this just running into the shop, and just so it doesn't take so long to heat up, I'm filling it up with hot water out of the shop here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to fill this up with water above the Queen Excluders by about 2 or 3 inches, and when it's above that, we're going to let it come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, it'll then melt all of the beeswax, and that beeswax will float to the surface, leaving the Queen Excluders clean. Okay? So we're going to continue doing this. We're going to get it filled up. We're going to let the chicken fryer heat up the barrel to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, we'll come back to you and show you the next step. Hey, so just a little update on the Queen Excluders here. In the meantime, the wind picked up a little bit. It was blowing the heat away underneath the chicken fryer. So I just built a little plywood windbreak around the barrel just to stop the wind and retain some of the heat in here. Also threw a barrel lid on top just as a lid. So we'll open that up, take a look inside. You can see it's boiling away a little bit, a nice little bit of a rolling boil there. You can see the beeswax and foam and debris floating on top there. I'm going to try to grab one of the Queen Excluders out now just to have a look at it. So I'll pull that out. So you look at it now, those Queen Excluders, and they're fairly clean. There's a little bit of debris on there. They're fairly clean. Most of the beeswax is melted off. The issue is right now, if I were to pull these out of this right now, all of that wax that's floating on top would stick to the Queen Excluder, sort of like it's sticking to this hook here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the heater off. I'm going to let it sit here until it cools and the beeswax on top turns from a liquid to a solid again. Then I can peel all of the beeswax off the top and pull the Queen Excluders out. So we'll be back when this cools down, and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. Well, and there we go. We let the barrel sit overnight. We peeled the wax off the top of it. There's some of it there. There was a layer of wax on top of the barrel. Took that off. Now we're pulling out the Queen Excluders. That's how clean it is now. So with very little labor. We loaded them into a barrel, we turned the heater on, we let them sit there for an hour, heating up. It melted all of the beeswax off. You can look at the difference between what we started with and what we ended up with. A dramatic difference. If you only had 1 or 2 Queen Excluders, honestly, just get a scraper and scrape them off. It wouldn't take you that long. When you have 800 or 900 or 8,000 or 9,000 Queen Excluders you need to clean, you're more looking at a way to do it with less labor. And this in bulk quantities, heating up, melting the wax off your Queen Excluder will save you a ton of time. Some of them might come out with a little bit of propolis on them, might take a quick brush on them with a wire brush just to clean them up a little bit. But ones like this, they're completely new again almost, ready to be used next year. We'll throw them in a pile on a pallet, and then next year we can come and pull them out, put them on the hive, just for the bees to gum them up again, so we can do this whole process next year. Anyways, Brian from Municipal Creek Honey, I hope you got some kind of useful information out of this video. If you ever need anything, give the shop a call. Kiara's always there. Have a good one.